Nearly 3 years ago, Illinois passed a sweeping criminal justice bill called the Safety Act. But Governor Pritzker's signature didn't mean that everything in that law would happen right away. And since that law passed, the state already changed certification standards for officers and allowed for people to make anonymous complaints about police officers. Now, starting in January, part of this law, the Pretrial Fairness Act, starts, which eliminates cash bail and bond. And also of note, all law enforcement has to be outfitted with body cameras by 2025. But let's shift our focus back to the Pretrial Fairness Act. We're just 4 months away from sweeping changes at our courts and jails. 13 Investigates' William Engel shows us how it could have a major impact on our prison population.
Time is ticking towards the end of the year, which is the beginning of a major change for the justice system as we know it.
As of January 1st, there will be the abolition of monetary bail,
which is a big deal for everyone in our jails.
The new statute categorizes offenses, criminal offenses, by detainable, or they call it qualifying offenses, and non-detainable, those offenses that you cannot be held in custody.
That means there are only some crimes people can be held in prison for after the new year.
Armed robbery, residential burglary, for example, domestic violence cases, certain sex offenses, felony sex offenses, and certain guns offenses.
But even being on bail for one of these crimes doesn't mean you're guaranteed to stay in prison. Prosecutors still face an uphill climb to prove under these new laws that people need to stay in jail. They have to prove the person in question poses a physical threat to another person, that no conditions can be set on their release to eliminate that risk, and whether there's clear and convincing evidence to prove the person committed the crime. So with a long and complicated legal explanation out of the way, what will our jails look like in January? Boone County Sheriff David Ernest says it could clear out by more than half.
It really depends on who we have here December 31st, but clearly January 1st at 12:01, we'll be releasing probably 60% of the inmates that we have currently in our facility.
So what types of charges are certainly walking out by the new year? For one, any type of drug charges.
The statute mandates that in certain felonies, for example, manufacture, delivery of drugs, any type or volume, those defendants have to be released.
The bigger issue for Ernest is that he thinks his officers will be more at risk with people on bond getting released.
An officer is going to have no idea when he stops that car if that person had committed a crime before, is currently, out on a no bond, civil service. And that's what really worries us overall. It's like, when do we hold offenders accountable?
Chief Judge Lowry doesn't view the law with the same concern as Ernest, saying his job is to make the new laws work.
So this is what we have, and our job is not to complain. Our job is to teach, train, and implement. So I'm not frustrated. I think it's something we have to work with. And we know that as time goes on, things will get more clear and improve, like I said, overall efficiencies.
Giving a glimpse at a big change coming to Illinois and the state line. 413 Investigates, I'm William Engels.
And this is just the beginning of our coverage of the Pretrial Fairness Act. This will have major changes on when police can arrest people, how warrants are handed out for missed court dates, and a major cost for all counties to put this law into practice. Our 13 Investigates team will continue to follow this story as more details become clear.